So you want to play a Way of the Astral Self Monk. However, you're going to quickly run into some mechanical issues. Now, the idea behind the Astral Self Monk is that you're going to summon your spectral arms, which are going to give you a 10-foot reach, and then you get to use your wisdom to go ahead and make some unarmed attacks. By speccing into wisdom far heavier than dexterity, we have better stunning strikes and just a monk save DC in general. But we run into some issues here. The first of which is that when we do not have our spectral arms summoned, now we have a low dexterity, so our damage output is only good so long as we have that extra key point per combat. And then since we're using an extra key point per combat, we have fewer key points to go around. The second is that now we're forced to use our unarmed strikes to get use of our wisdom modifier. So instead of doing potentially a D10 worth of damage, we're doing a D4, which is significantly less when we start compounding it with multi-attack. So the topic of today's video is how to fix these weaknesses in a very quick and efficient way to make the Way of the Astral Self Monk flow a bit better. And the answer to this question is to take 1 level in Druid right away and then take 19 in Astral Self Monk. Why? Well, first and foremost is that we get Shillelagh. Shillelagh is a big deal for this build, because now, right from the get-go, right from level 1, we can be focusing on our wisdom, and it makes our weapon wisdom-based. Yes, we're going to be doing a D8 instead of a D10, potentially, of damage, but a D8 was pretty normal for monks for a long time, and it's only a 1 damage difference, which is worth it because by speccing hard into wisdom, now we get the better modifier for our attacks all the time. So even if we don't have the key point to put into our arms, we can still use wisdom-based attacks for at least half our attacks before we are using our martial arts at bonus action attack or flurry of blows, which of course will go back to dexterity. In other words, by having Shillelagh, we can really take wisdom deep. We can go 20 wisdom right away without feeling bad ever. Even in our worst case scenarios, we're still as good as a normal monk, if not a little better. And on top of it, we now have better stunning strikes than any other monk, which is pretty efficient. But that's not all druids give us at level 1. Druids also give us spellcasting, and Druid Spellcasting at level 1 is pretty amazing. We get Entangle. Entangle is a powerhouse fight-winning spell coming in as early as level 1. It's actually insane. It's almost 2nd level spell worthy, and there's even an argument for 3rd level spell worthy. So the fact that we're getting it at 1st level is actually crazy. We can also pick up a spell like Healing Word, which is going to allow us to emergency pick someone up off the ground. We can pick up Fog Cloud to give us an escape if we need to retreat with our team. We can pick up Jump, which is really awesome with a monk because we eventually get our soft landing, so now we can do these crazy jumps without fear of taking damage on the landing. By the end of the day, we're going to have 6 level 1 Druid spells once we have our 20 in wisdom, and 6 level 1 spells actually goes quite a long ways here. We're gonna have 2 spell slots a day, so you're gonna have to pick and choose, but with things like Goodberry, we can use our unused spell slots at the end of the day, and then mixing with those other spells I talked about, we also get Ritual Casting for Detect Magic. There's just so much you can do with those 6 spells. We also get a second cantrip. We can focus more on being support with something like Guidance, or we can pick up a bit of a ranged option, maybe with Magic Stone, or maybe with Produce Flame. If our race doesn't naturally have Dark Vision, we can use that as both a light and a ranged attack, even though it's only 30-foot range. Or we can do Thorn Whip, for example, which again, only a 30-foot range. We're not going to be using it all the time, but it does open up our versatility. Also, by taking Druid at 1st level, we get wisdom saving throws as opposed to dexterity saving throws, as far as our big saving throws go. Now, because we get evasion as a monk, dexterity saving throws we already cover quite handily. Worst case, we're taking half damage. Best case, we're taking none. And wisdom saving throws are my least favorite saving throws to fail because we basically lose control of our character fairly often when we fail a wisdom saving throw. So I really prefer to go Druid 1 first to get the coverage on that wisdom saving throw. As far as races go, there's 2 that really stand out to me, starting with the Earth Genasi. Now, what's really cool about the Earth Genasi is that when we cast our Entangle, it creates difficult terrain made of plants, and the Earth Genasi allows us to run through that without it being difficult terrain for us. So now we can create this area that's both entangling people and creating difficult terrain, but we have full mobility in there, and we can go in and smack the people who are restrained, so we get our advantage on them and we can continue moving through. I just think it's a really cool combo. On top of that, we also can increase our defenses without using key points. It's very similar to doing our bonus action key dodge, except we can do our racial bonus action blade ward to gain defenses as a bonus action. So it just pushes our resources further. Along with that, it makes us more of an infiltrator with Pass Without Trace. So we get a lot out of the genasi, and the flavor is right on point. I really like the idea of an genasi monk with a bit of druid. It all fits together very well for me. The other one that fits together really well for me is actually a yuan-ti. Now what's really cool about yuan-ti is I like the flavor. I like the staff being a Jafar-like snake staff. I like our astral arms being these serpentine snakes coming out of our back, kind of like Doc Ock. But past that, mechanically speaking, it gives us a lot in the way of defenses. Makes us resistant to poison damage, poison condition, gives us suggestion, very powerful spell, lets us have an animal friendship so we can have a boa constrictor that kind of just hangs out around our neck, gives us magic resistance. You really do just get a lot out of yuan-ti. I like both flavors. I think they're both completely viable, and I would run either one. This build is a nice marriage between mechanics and flavor, and I think it goes a long way to patching up what makes the Astral Self Monk really struggle. But that's just my take. I would like to hear yours in the comments down below. If you are interested in some more of our flavor builds, we have a whole playlist here that you can check out. And other than that, I just hope you have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.